Let's be clear from the start. Being kind alone is not enough to survive in this world. If you believe that simply being a good person is enough to achieve success, you're living in a fantasy. And worst of all, you refuse to admit it even though you know better. How many times have you felt crushed by others? How many times have you done the right thing but were ignored or worse, taken advantage of instead of being appreciated? You were taught that being good is enough, that honesty and integrity will be rewarded, but the reality is different. The world doesn't reward the good, it rewards those who know how to play their cards. This is where Machiavelli comes in. Machiavelli understood a truth most people overlook. Human nature is selfish, unpredictable, and ruthless when necessary. In his book The Prince, he clearly stated that without cunning, virtue is a weakness, and without strategy, goodness is a trap. Now tell me, how many times have you fallen into that trap? Look at the people you admire. Study those who have achieved great success. Do you think they got there by goodwill alone? No. They got there because they knew how to move in the shadows when needed, because they understood morality can be a barrier or a tool. Knowing when to show it and when to hide it is the difference between being a player and being a pawn. The problem isn't that you're good. The problem is that you don't know how to protect yourself. You think everyone plays by the same rules, but they don't. The world is full of opportunists, and without realizing it, you became their perfect target. This is where Machiavelli offers you an alternative: smart kindness. It's not about becoming evil or abandoning your principles. It's about realizing kindness must be backed by an understanding of reality, learning to read people, anticipate their intentions, knowing when to trust and when to be cautious. Machiavelli said, "If you cannot be both, it is better to be feared than loved." So, what have you chosen? Most likely, you chose to be loved, accepted, and appear harmless. But tell me, what has that earned you? Respect? Power? No. What it earned you was being used without consequence. Because powerless kindness doesn't inspire admiration, it inspires pity. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to stop being good. I'm telling you to learn how to be good without being naive. Understand that the world rewards winners, not the fair ones. True virtue isn't submission. It's balancing morality with strategy and caring how others perceive you. If you appear weak, they treat you as weak. If you appear strong, they respect you. How many times have you let others disrespect you just because you feared losing their approval? How many times have you stayed silent to avoid conflict, only to lose more than you gained? This isn't about being ruthless. It's about being wise. The key is knowing when to act, when to speak, when to retreat, and when to strike. Kindness is an advantage when used correctly, but if left unchecked, it becomes your greatest enemy. The mistake most good people make is thinking the world values purity of heart, but the world values power, security, and the ability to make tough decisions. If you have no power, you have nothing. Machiavelli warns you not to be a lamb in a world of wolves. Don't let morality make you a slave. True virtue is not submission, it's using intelligence. It's not passively conforming. It's refusing to be crushed. How much longer will you be a victim of your own innocence? I'm not telling you to stop being good. I'm telling you to learn how to use goodness to your advantage. Learn to move in the shadows when needed. Know when to smile. Because the world isn't fair. But by learning to play by its rules, you can still remain true to yourself. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to teach you to be bad. He wrote it to teach you how to survive. Now tell me, will you keep living believing kindness alone is enough? Or will you start applying real wisdom? And here comes a concept few truly understand: the perception of power. It's not enough to be powerful. You must appear powerful. It's not enough to be smart. You must reflect it. Because in this world, how others see you matters more than who you really are. Think about this. How many times has an incompetent talent overtaken you? How often has a manipulator risen while a noble, hard-working person stayed stuck? This is no coincidence. People don't follow the good or the fair. They follow whoever they believe holds control. The one who knows how to manage their image, who knows how to appear confident, who even if they don't have all the answers acts like they do. And here's where most people make a mistake. They assume truth alone is enough, that real competence will reveal itself. But the world doesn't work that way. The world rewards not the righteous, but those who know how to sell their story. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. It's not just who you are, but who others think you are that matters. Machiavelli said, "A prince must know how to conceal his true intentions, Because when everyone is chasing advantage, the one who reveals too much becomes the weakest. Learn when to speak and when to stay silent. Say only what's necessary. Learn to control what people think of you. The moment you become predictable, you lose the game. A leader who appears weak doesn't inspire trust. The most prepared employee who doesn't know how to get noticed will never get promoted. The best person who can't project their value will never be the one desired, no matter how talented they are. That's why the key isn't just to be, it's to manage your own narrative. Learn how to create the right impression for every situation. This isn't about deception, it's about learning to direct people's attention. The greatest players in history, whether in politics, business, art, or any field, understood this truth. Strategic silence is as powerful as speaking. Think about someone you truly admire. Are they the type who says everything, exposing themselves completely? Or the one who always leaves something in the shadows, always has a hidden card? Many confuse transparency with weakness. If someone doesn't share everything, they're assumed dishonest. But it's not about lying. It's about controlling the flow of information to your advantage. Think about it. How many times have you spoken too much and it hurt you? How many times have you trusted the wrong person only to see that trust used against you? How many times have you explained yourself when no one even asked, especially to those who didn't deserve it? Power isn't about talking more. It's knowing when to speak and when to be silent. And here's a big lesson almost nobody practices. The person who speaks the least and explains the least earns the most respect. Why? Because silence creates uncertainty. Uncertainty sparks curiosity, and curiosity builds power. If you always say what you think without filters, people lose interest. If you always explain your actions, people feel you need to defend yourself. But when you speak only when necessary, choose your words carefully, and leave room for interpretation, people truly start to listen. Here comes another essential concept, the art of unpredictability. Predictable people are easy to manipulate. If you always react the same way, if your emotions and decisions are predictable, others can control you. But when you are unpredictable, when people can never guess your next move, you become dangerous. And when you are dangerous, they respect you. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. A leader who can be read like an open book is a weak leader, one who shifts like a 51-ship fleet and never allows himself to be fully defined, stays in power. So the question is, will you remain an open book everyone can read, manipulate, and use? Or will you be someone who controls their strategy, image, knowledge, and unpredictability to their own benefit? Because kindness without strategy is just an invitation to be defeated and consumed. It won't change the rules. So learn to play by the rules that actually exist. If you do it right, if you apply what truly works, then for the first time, you will stop being a victim of the system and start being one of its rulers. But here's the really interesting part, the art of strategic distance. Many think power means always being visible, always showing themselves. But the truth is, those who are too available lose their value. Scarcity creates desire. Absence leaves impact. Think about this. Why do some people command respect just by being present, while others can't establish authority no matter how hard they try? The difference lies in their perceived value. Machiavelli said, a prince must be proud to his people, but avoid excessive closeness, because too much familiarity kills respect. If you're always there, giving without measure, people start to take your presence, effort, and generosity for granted. This applies not just in politics or power, but in relationships, business, and life as a whole. When you give too much, you're ignored. When you're always accessible, you become a resource, not a valuable person. Think, how many times have you given everything for someone and received no appreciation? How many times were you there for everyone but ignored when you needed support? This isn't coincidence. It's human nature. Things that are abundant lose value. Things that are scarce gain value. That's why you must learn to manage your presence and control your availability. You shouldn't always be at everyone's fingertips. Make your absence felt. Make them miss your presence. Because when you learn to disappear at the right time, when you know how to manage your energy, people start looking for you. Most people fear disappearing. They retreat, thinking they will be forgotten. But here's the harsh truth. If your only way to be remembered is by always being present, then you were never truly valuable. Those who leave a real impact aren't the loudest. They are the ones who know how to master silence. Those who know how to step back when necessary and reappear at the right moment. Look at history's great figures. Real players aren't everywhere. They don't wear themselves out in every battle. They show up only at moments that truly matter, and that's when everyone listens. And this leads us to another critical point: emotional control as a tool of power. Many think power is achieved by shouting, anger, or harshness. But Machiavelli's greatest insight was that true mastery lies in absolute control of emotions. Those who lose control, act impulsively, give in to anger or anxiety, become predictable. And the predictable can be manipulated and weakened. Think one last time. When someone made you angry, when you lost your temper and reacted without thinking, who held the power at that moment? Not you, but the person who provoked you, the one who pushed you off balance. Because the one who controls their emotions controls their actions. And here's the key: the one who can't be provoked, who never loses their balance no matter what, is truly powerful. In arguments, negotiations, relationships, or social interactions, whoever maintains emotional control always wins. If these ideas resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll keep exploring strategy, power, and intelligence. See you in the next video.